Alright, so I am here. This has been a long time in the making, and it is finally coming together. Thanks to the help of Powerful Lithium and this guy over here, Arvin. Alright, so we got a lot to talk about. Getting this to fit was a nightmare, but we'll get into that right now. Motor wire comes out towards the rear.
Always.
Always. Why don't you put the motor wire facing?
Inside.
Yeah.
That's so nice aesthetically.
It'll look nicer, right?
Yes, but physically it's not good because you want to have wire to pull out from the. Record this.
Away.
We want to pull out away this wire from the screw heads.
Okay.
When you have inside, because of vibrations, wire can go a little bit closer to those screws, and in the meantime it can cut the wire, make damage in your controller and your motor as well. Very often happening when people having let's say flat tire, they bring to any shop and they didn't know, and they just put on the way that the wire is straight facing towards front. That's wrong. Like some stock bikes, they have wire facing towards front, but that wire is very thin, so it's hard to catch those screw heads. On the bigger motors, like 3, 5, 8 kilowatt, 12 kilowatt, depends, wire is way thicker and there is not much room, so you can't have that towards front of the bike. So sometimes when you install those discs directly here on the motor mount, and when you tighten them, disc become warped. So
especially the 2S.
That's why it's very important to put this spacer here and make it flush this, because this gap here, sometimes this doesn't fit this hole here, engraved part, into the motor directly. So sometimes his motor a little bit bigger or smaller, doesn't matter. It's very important to flush this disc with this spacer. That's how we're gonna do work on this one and put here on the proper way.
You always need to put Loctite on it.
When we tighten this screw, and then we go opposite. Tighten this one, and then from this one we go into star here. Then when we're done with this one, we go again on the opposite one in the star, and then again here into star, into this star, and then this one. Then when we have them done, screwed like a little bit tight, now we're gonna torque them a little bit. Don't do too crazy. The same way. Star. After this, what I like to do usually, use the flat screwdriver, rotate cable, put screwdriver here, flat, push this cable up there, put screwdriver like this, and then do this. And now when we install the motor, we will have here gap. Even when we push a little bit more wire down, we're gonna have this here. That's the important part.
What size?
Doesn't matter. Screwdriver, just that is thick enough that can make this kind of loop over the screwdriver. And then when we tighten everything, when wires goes down, it's gonna have a loop above the screw heads. You see now we have room between wire and the screw head, and that's how it should be. Take it out.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
It's just tight.
So pretty much, I right, so one of the biggest setbacks that I had was mounting the motor onto the swing arm, and the motor wires were too close.
So tight. When we have swing arm here, it's too tight, and then it's gonna push wire towards screw heads, and those screw heads, they're gonna damage the wire.
All right, so what are we doing to fix that?
Let's try. We just made 2 spacers, so let's see how it's gonna work. This it should help. It should be very helpful.
Okay.
Now let's try with 1 spacer. See, I think even with 1 spacer, it's gonna be good. So let's try now to slide in to see clearance. Looks good. Looks good. Clearance is good now. We have some room. We have. It's very close. We need to, always. You guys need to maintain this part where wire coming out from the motor on any bike. For now, we're gonna put this washer with lug for now, because Johnny forgot to bring us what's it called? The torque plates. But torque plates we're gonna install after. This is just for now that we can test. This will help also for now, but we're gonna have nice torque plates here that been bolted into this, so that part should be good. Now we're gonna test this out, and it's very important that this is straight. This disc is straight with this, so it's perfect basically. Now we're gonna work on this spacer here for the caliper. Down. We're gonna work on this spacer here for the caliper, how to mount. So we'll do that now. We'll tighten this one. I need wrench, and let's see how it works. So when we're using Magura brakes, it's very important to have those spacers, proper spacers. So we usually use 2 of them. One is this bottom part, and has side mounting, and this one down is like for 2 or 3 discs on the bottom. So we add another one here on top. I think this model is QM16 or something like that. I'm not sure at the moment. And we add that one to accommodate 220 disc into Magura caliper. Also, it's very important to have aligned this part properly to the disc. Since we add extra spacer down here, our swing arm got opening here a little bit. So when we needed to add spacers here between this side mounting bracket, we add 2 washers here, and we add 3 washers here to make this straight on the end. And this is the way, just because we needed to use, we wanted to make extra clearance for the wire on the bottom. We wanted to have extra clearance, so as soon as you do that, you add extra washer down, you're gonna have the whole thing a little bit off the angle, the right angle. So that's why we need to fix that by adding some side spacers on top. And now we're gonna add this on the end. Fits perfectly, and it's very important that we see here that disc is almost closing the pads, which means that we have like 97-8% of pads to make pressure on the disc. If you have too much up, down, up there, so you're not gonna have 100% or even close to 100%. Sometimes we've seen customer having like lifted up this way, and you can see perfectly here. You see this gap here, you see side pads. Look, this is like 100% now, but if you leave up like this, you're using maybe only 30-40% of pads for stopping power. So sometimes, you know, if you do wrong installation, no matter you spend a lot of money on the Magura brakes, you're not gonna have good braking. That's why it's very important to check this part here that basically has grabbing from the pads almost 100%, 97, 98% I would say this. Yeah, we're actually 98, yeah, 98% now we have here. That's very important. Also, same thing, we need to confirm on the front. On the front, this is now aligned, and you see those pads, you see difference? It's almost closing with pads. That means it's perfect matching. The pads can bite the disc. Also, now you see those holes there in the middle. That's what you want to have here, here as well. So you have play a little bit left, right. Sometimes you need to do that to have that play
For mounting?
for the mounting. That's important. When we align this, we have that sort of play. So now when we install, when we want to bolt this down, or what you need, put screws almost all the way down but not tight, and then pump it brake to pump it, and then hold, press and hold. And now caliper holding this while you're tightening this, and then you tight 15% this one, then 15% this one, then another 20%, another 20%, 20, 20, 20, 20, until you have 100% tight this the Magura caliper. When is that done, you can release the brake. Caliper is gonna fit, and it's not gonna rub at all. But also, of course, you're gonna test ride, check if it's rubbing, and then if it's rubbing by any chance, just repeat the process, and that's it.
I didn't know you did all that. Tighten it. You're schooling everybody.
Yeah, but because people, you know, not realizing, is that just
crank it down tight and
exactly
you're good to
right.
go.
You need to adjust that properly, because you don't want to have that rubbing sound.
Huge shout out to the boys over at Kemimoto. Kemimoto just hooked me up with these. Alright, so they just hooked me up with a grippy set of foot pegs. But I just want to show you guys how it would look, being that I have all of this set up already. Hi, Mark. Alright, so what do you guys think of that? I think they look very nice. Alright, so these are going to go on this build. Find a spot on your swing arm where you're going to mount your peg. I got the swing arm. Use the existing washer that comes with the Kemimoto foot pegs. Alright, I think this is critical. You want to use that Loctite so that these don't come off. And then before you tighten, no wait, don't tighten it yet. Just make sure the Kemimoto sign is straight. So I would hold it like that, and then tighten the bolt on that side. Yeah. And then repeat the process on the other side.
No problem.
Got it.
Send us an email, faster. Yeah, info at
Alright, and when you're done, you're left with something that looks a little like this.
Can I go back on one now?
Bam. Yes, you can go back to work now.
So, can I go back, work something serious?
Yes. Alright, so just in case you guys were wondering what it is that I'm going to use to control this beast, I will be using the far driver, the 72450. The motor that I'm using is a 5 kilowatt motor, and the far driver controller puts out 200 linear or DC amps, whatever you're familiar with. And if you are familiar with far drivers, you'll know that this is a perfect combination. It is no longer in pieces, it's in a standing upright position, and soon will be out on the road. So look for it. I want to give a huge shout out to all those parties that have been involved in this build. Powerful Lithium, they've had me covered since day one. The frame is a Spark CycleWorks BANDIT. Huge shout out to you guys. It shouldn't be too much longer that you'll see me out there riding on this green machine. And of course, it would not look nearly as good as it does if it wasn't for the guys over at Arcane Motor. And of course, who's gonna cushion my assets? None other than Tapia Seats. And with that, I will leave you. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate. Smash the like button. Leave a comment because I get back to everybody. And if you want to, please subscribe. So until the next video, peace out, everybody.